You know who I am.
My name is Ed Begley.
My dad was an actor. He was a factory worker that made it in his 60s. He started to make it in radio and on stage in his 50s, to be fair, but then he really made it by winning an Oscar and getting really good roles. He was with a group called the Guy Headland Players in Hartford, and he worked with them. Then he got a job at WTIC station there. He did radio, and he did a million voices because his dad was what they call a hod carrier, an Irish kind of worker where they carry two boards with a stick and they carry either bricks or mortar. They carried the shit. His dad was a strong lad, but he was a raconteur and he did different dialects. My dad learned that from him, and it served him well in radio, of course.
I had been a member of the Hartford Players, and Jay Ray was the director there. I went down to audition the Hartford Players. Now, I had been a theater manager prior to this in Philadelphia, but I'd come back to Hartford as I had many, many times before, and I heard about this Hartford Little Theater Group, and I went down there, and they auditioned me. Jay was the director, and I got a part in the first play. And finally, I'd heard that Guy Headland had come, was starting a dramatic stock company at WTIC, and had very wisely corralled some of the professional actors around Hartford, Jay Ray among them. I asked Jay if he would possibly speak to Mr. Headland to see if I could get an audition. I was then working at the wire mold company in Elmwood, and Jay said he would speak to him. I was invited to come in, and I spent 3 afternoons because Mr. Headland was kind of forgetful. He had me just read cold, not over the microphone. The engineer had gone. And it was that of a young man. He said, "Your voice is too mature for this, but I just want to hear you." And when I read it, he said, "You've got the part." That was my beginning there.
He went to New York because he was doing well in Hartford, and he did well in New York in radio, and then he started to do some stage in New York. He did well on stage, and then Hollywood beckoned, different movies, Boomerang and other movies like that, and Tulsa, and Sorry, Wrong Number, and
Sweet Bird of You. Won an Oscar for that.
Ed Begley and Sweet Bird of You.
I'm a long way from Hartford, Connecticut. Got it. Thank you very much.
then he started to hit it. When he won an Oscar, he started to go on to another level, and he had like a business manager now, and then he did a movie with Debbie Reynolds, and I, of course, knew Debbie singing The Rain and Tammy and all that. My dad's hanging out with Debbie Reynolds.
He's in 12 Angry Men, a million other great films.
Balance, get in here.
Careful, all these bravos will go to an old PhD's head.
I warn you, business has been far from brisk, Mr. Jordan.
Doctor, like it or not, you are, if you'll permit the archaic phrase, a public enemy. The only thing I have to answer to is my own conscience.
You're insulting my intelligence with your questions, Sonny. You're grasping at straws, Valetic. Why anyone would pick you to fill my shoes is more than I can figure.
He died in 1970. He didn't see me do much. I wish he was around longer.
What a great actor.